We had only been married a few months when Rat came home with Zeebo. Rat, with 2 T's, was my new husband, a laid-back Arkansas boy who I'd just married in October. 2 weeks later, it was deer season, and this Dallas girl wound up at her in-laws while my new husband shot whatever moved in the deer woods. My daddy loved to hunt too. Why, every fall, Daddy would get the gun out of the closet, go to East Texas for a week, and come back with white packages of venison. Shoot, yeah, I knew about hunting. I'd eaten deer steak. I was Southern, for goodness sakes. Zeebo was a black and tan coon dog. I had a bit of a panic attack because I had heard stories. Hunters were spending ridiculous amounts of money on these coon dogs. We're talking in the thousands. We were trying to save money to get a little rent house. We were trying to move out of the in-laws, for goodness sake. And it had been a whole 2 weeks of sheer happiness because I just found out I was pregnant. So you can imagine my utter surprise when he came home with a coon dog to chase in the woods, to wear waist-high rubber boots, a wheat light, canvas overalls, a fashion must when you consider the briars that you can't see, when you're chasing a dog through the woods at night to tree a raccoon. At this point, I went off. Severely hormonal and very, very pissed, I do believe I made comments including but not limited to the following. Have you lost your freaking mind? What about the deposit on the house? I'm pregnant. Crying was probably in here somewhere. I'm a crier when I get mad. Where in the world are we going to keep him? I can't believe you did this. Lots of tears. Oh my God, how much was he? I probably also called him various obscene names, but I can't be sure. We were young. I was in love and hormonally imbalanced. Here came the rat Zeebo. He was on sale. He only has one eye. I was speechless. Then in his laid-back, good old boy way, with an ever-so-slight grin, he added, heck, Slick, he was a deal, only $100, and he only runs into trees on his right every now and then. Slick was his term of endearment for me. Not sweetie, not honey, Slick. We moved into a cute little red brick house in a quiet neighborhood, an old neighborhood where each house sits on about 1/3 of an acre. No sidewalks, gravel driveways. I loved it. The city girl was living the small town life, and I was having a baby. All was right with the world. Zeebo had a pen in the backyard. He and Rat had many happy evenings in the woods. Whatever. It was spring, windows open, folks raising gardens, money was tight, I was hormonally imbalanced. Rat got an offer to go back to Dallas to work for a few months at his old job. It was actually a godsend from a monetary standpoint. We were having a baby. We needed the money. We could handle it. I stayed in our little house in South Arkansas. He came home most weekends. Sometimes I went to Dallas. Wait a minute. Wait a dadgum minute. What's wrong with this picture? I'm the dadgum Dallas girl. All of a sudden I was ticked off and hormonally imbalanced. So to get back at Rat, I came home from a bar. No, I wasn't drinking, just visiting. With a precious little miniature dachshund in my purse. Imagine his surprise when I brought home what he referred to as a twerpy dog, a dog with no purpose. I had my hormonal revenge. I was in the mommy mode, pregnant, new puppy, and best of all, I was even. The puppy was adorable. I named her Precious. Rat was in Dallas. It was a Saturday morning around 7:30 and my doorbell rang. 2 police officers were there. My heart went into my throat. Precious immediately started barking and would not shut up. Precious, please, please, hush. Yes, officers? Ma'am, We're here to serve you with a warrant to appear in court for violation of City Ordinance 345-68C-3887-62R. Excuse me? I don't know what that means. Barking dog ordinance, ma'am. Oh, precious, please shut up. I pleaded with my 10-inch little wiener at the foot of the office. Ma'am, seems your neighbors have gotten up a petition against you for obnoxious dog barking in the evening hours. He looked at his feet, and without even a smile, he added, "Is this the dog in question?" My pregnant self was about to have a bladder accident, trying to hold back the laughter. "No, sir, it's probably the coon dog in the back." Seems Zeebo, the one-eyed coon dog, couldn't tell the difference between a squirrel and a coon. Lots of throat, loud echoes at night, in the spring, when everyone has their windows open. An oak tree with big old acorns hung over his dog pen. Lots of squirrels. Boom! The situation in chain of events. A tad boring, but necessary to the story, so I'll make them short. Seems this situation falls in my lap, because rats in Dallas. I have never been to court, not even a traffic ticket. I was alone, I knew no one. I was hormonally imbalanced. I talked to a lawyer, old friend of rats. He talks to another friend that has a pen and agrees to take Zeebo. Lawyer friend talks to judge. Judge agrees to drop charges as long as the dog is off the premises. I have to visit with the judge just before the court appearance. The judge calls me into his quarters. He was as pleasant as he could be. My heart got out of my throat. "Oh, yes, sir, the dog is gone. I'm so sorry. We just didn't know." Yada, 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 suck it up best I could. We talked briefly of rats, small town stuff, everyone knows each other. He welcomed me to town. Sweet man. He explained that I would need to sit through the court proceedings because several of my neighbors would be present, and he had to go through the motions. I could do that. The case was read in court. The judge looked at me and asked if the dog was off the premise. "Yes, sir," I confidently replied. Then he slammed the book at me, banging his head on the bench at the top of his furious voice. "And if that dog is ever seen on your property again, I will levy this fine to the fullest extent allowed by law. Do you understand me?" All my pregnant, hormonally imbalanced, scared to death self could squeak out was, "Yes, sir." His gavel hit the wooden stand. There was applause. 2 days later, I drove an hour to Texarkana to pick up Rat. He had taken a crop duster kind of flight from Dallas. First thing he did, warn me he had what he described as the hangover from Hades. Every 10 or 15 miles we pulled over. In between puke breaks, I was steadily reading him the riot act. I told him every detail with expletives. It had to have gone on for at least a half an hour. He finally asked who was the judge. I told him the name. He took a deep breath, wiped the sweat from his forehead, got that dadgum ever so slight grin and seen me. "Oh, heck, Slick. Back in the old days, I slept with his wife."